Ladies and gentlemen, seeking the truth is the obligation of this committee. I can see no point in going further. I have no expectation that Ms. Lerner will cooperate with this committee, and therefore we stand adjourned.
Chairman, I have a statement. I have a procedural question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a procedural question. Mr. Chairman, you cannot run a committee like this. You just cannot do this. We're better than that as a country. We're better than that as a committee. I have asked for a few minutes to ask a procedural. And now you're turning me off. I don't care. The fact is I'm asking a question. I am the ranking member of this committee, and I want to ask a question. What are we hiding? What's the big deal? May I ask my question? May I state my statement?
You're all free to leave. We've adjourned, but the gentleman may ask his question.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I have one procedural question, and it goes to trying to help you get the information, by the way, that you just asked.
What is your question?
Let me say what I have to say. I've listened to you for the last 15 or 20 minutes. Let me say what I have to say. Chairman, I have one procedural question.
Ms. Lerner, you're released. You may.
But first, I would like to use my time to make some brief points. For the past year, the central Republican accusation in this investigation.
We're adjourned. Close it down.
Political collusion directed by on behalf of the White House. Before our committee received a single document.
Thank you.
We'll introduce one witness. Chairman Iceland went on national television and said that, and I quote, this was the targeting of the president's political enemies effectively and lied about it during the election year, end of quote. He continued this theme on Sunday when if you will sit down and allow me to ask the question, I am a member of the Congress of the United States of America. I am tired of this.
Well,
we have members over here, each who represent 700,000 people. You cannot just have a one-sided investigation. There is absolutely something wrong with that, and it is absolutely un-American.
Hear, hear.
we had a hearing. This is adjourned. I gave you an opportunity to ask a question. You have no question.
I do have a question.
I gave you an opportunity to speak.
Chairman, what are you hiding?
He's taking the fifth, Elijah.
And I guess that's the sad part of the story. You know, I'm glad that truth's surfacing because I think most people now reflecting back are going to understand that you're more heroic in this. And really, I think when you have such senior, powerful people in Washington, D.C., trying to discredit you and your person, your service, it's just wrong. And I'm proud of the fact that we are pursuing this. You know, if we did what the White House wanted us to do, if we did what the ranking member suggested we do, this thing would be over. Nothing here. Don't do it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. When you have the spokesperson for the President of the United States make a definitive statement that it was 2 rogue agents and start poking at these people who have no power to do anything about it, that is wrong. How dare anybody suggest that we're at the end of this? This is the beginning of this. We have to make an example of it. We need to get to the bottom of it. And quite frankly, I'm tired of this administration having to keep having these hearings. We've done it on Fast and Furious. We're doing it on Benghazi. We're doing it on the IRS. We're doing it. Why? Each time, there's a pattern. Nothing here. Oh, it was just a couple people. Just move on. That's not true. When the ranking member went on national television and said that this case should be closed, that's wrong. And I have the greatest respect for him.
The gentleman yields.
Yes.
Let me be clear because there's some old talking points going on here.
No,
at least
you're claiming my time.
I want to answer your allegation.
And I want
It's the gentleman's time.
to suggest that they're just talking points.
30 seconds once he finishes.
These are not just talking points.
Oh, come on.
Yield the gentleman time.
Thank you. Let me be very clear. I hope the gentleman will join me when I say that I want every single syllable of every single transcript that we can get, every redactions, appropriate redactions put out here. I've been asking for that, and I want that. What I said was, when it came to the issue of saying that the President and the White House was responsible for this, I said that the evidence to that point, and continues to be, not there. As far as the investigation is concerned, I want us to get to the bottom of that. And I really mean that. It is very, very, very important. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Can I ask unanimous consent for 30 seconds?
Of course.
Part of the reason it has risen to this level is that you have the White House spokesman, Jay Carney, blaming one of the people sitting there at this table. You have the former acting commissioner saying it was 2 rogue agents. It was the most powerful people in Washington, D.C., placing blame on the person sitting before us. And that's why it continues forward. And that's why I do think the White House is now engaged in this.
To explain this massive screw-up, we have not received one document regarding this issue. The Trump administration also completely failed to respond to desperate pleas for help from grocery stores that needed fuel to keep their food from spoiling, including tons of produce, dairy, and other perishables. My staff obtained documents showing that Walmart, explaining repeatedly that their grocery stores had generators in place, but they needed emergency fuel to keep the food from spoiling. Puerto Rican officials communicated these concerns directly to FEMA in person and in writing. But by September 27, a full week after the hurricane, no fuel was provided. Again, the Trump administration has refused to provide any of the documents we requested regarding this massive, and I mean massive, failure. Nearly
to asking the question again. We're currently on VA case. We've rebuilt temporary medical facilities and supplies. We're the ones running emergency generator power on VA case. The question that this committee needs to ask is, what is PREPA's plan and the Commonwealth plan to serve their citizens on VA case, not just FEMA's? Because I don't have the authority, nor do I want the authority, to do the permanent work to rebuild the power grid for the future. That is up to the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico and to PREPA. And I'm here to tell you, if we want to prevent deaths in the future, if we want to make sure that the infrastructure is maintained, then I would strongly suggest that the committee call them to understand what their plan is going forward and how they're going to use billions of dollars of tax-paying money to rebuild the power grid and the infrastructure for the future. If you recall, I had to ask for special authorities to fix all of the deferred maintenance of the infrastructure. And I should have never been placed, or FEMA should have never been placed in that situation to begin with. That doesn't happen across the rest of the globe. So here again,
well, okay.
Here again,
Sir,
hit FEMA, hit FEMA. But going forward, the real question, if we truly care about what the future of Puerto Rico is, I'm telling you, we have got to understand how the Power Authority is prepared or capable, or even if they're even capable of rebuilding the grids and the infrastructure that needs to be in place to be more resilient.
Administrator Long, let me be clear with you. What I'm saying to you is, I think we all are about being effective and efficient, sir. I mean, and so people died, and we are all, like you said, one death is one too many. And we're trying to figure out, just like you, how we deal with this in a way where we can prevent that in the future.